Hi, I'm Sarah. Today I'm going to read you the story of Carol, which is titled like this: My parents planned a child-free Christmas to avoid inviting my daughter, because my sister is childless, her feelings are more important than yours. So I threw my own party. When no one came to them, they accused me of betrayal. Well, let's go. So here's the thing about my family: we've always done Christmas at my parents' house. My name's Carol, I'm 32, married to Mike for 9 years now, and we have this amazing daughter Emma who just turned 8 last month. She's the light of my life, seriously. My parents live about an hour away in the suburbs. Dad's been retired for 3 years now, used to work for the postal service for like 30 years. Mom's still working part-time at the local library. They're good people, but they've always had this thing about my younger sister Sarah. She's 28, 4 years younger than me, and let me tell you, she's been the golden child since day one. Sarah married this guy David 2 years ago. They live in this apartment across town and are always posting these perfect Instagram shots of their life. You know the type. Anyway, back to Christmas. Emma had been planning for this holiday since like October. She'd been making these elaborate handmade cards for her grandparents, spending hours at the kitchen table with her colored pencils and glitter and all that craft stuff that somehow ends up everywhere no matter how careful she tries to be. Mike and I had already bought gifts for everyone too. Got Dad this book about vintage cars he'd been wanting, and Mom this beautiful scarf I found at the mall. For Sarah, I picked out this fancy candle set from Bath and Body Works. She's always posting about her self-care Sunday routines, so I figured she'd love it. Even got David a nice bottle of wine. The thing is, Christmas at my parents' house is usually pretty great. This year felt different though. I'd been getting these weird vibes from Sarah lately. She'd been quieter than usual at family gatherings, and when she did talk, she seemed kind of bitter about everything. Mom kept making these comments about how we all needed to be sensitive to Sarah's situation. See, about 6 months ago, Sarah told us she and David had been trying to have a baby for over a year with no luck. They'd gone to doctors, done all these tests, and found out that Sarah couldn't have kids naturally. It was devastating news, and I felt terrible for her. I tried to be supportive. Called her, texted her, invited her over for dinner. But she seemed to pull away from everyone, especially when Emma was around. I noticed she'd get this look on her face when Emma would run up to hug her or talk about school. It was like she couldn't stand being around kids anymore. But I figured Christmas would be different. Family holidays have this way of bringing everyone together, right? Emma was so excited to see her aunt and uncle, and she'd been practicing this little song she wanted to perform for everyone. She'd set up this whole show in our living room, complete with costumes and everything. So there we were, 2 weeks before Christmas, everything planned out perfectly. I had the gifts wrapped and ready to go, Emma had finished all her handmade cards and gift boxes, and Mike had requested the time off work. We were all set for what I thought would be another perfect family Christmas. I should have known something was up when Mom called that Tuesday afternoon. Usually, she just texts about holiday plans, but this time she actually called, which meant it was serious. I was in the kitchen making Emma's lunch for school the next day when my phone rang. "Hi Mom," I answered, tucking the phone between my ear and shoulder while I spread peanut butter on bread. "Carol, we need to talk about Christmas," she said, and her voice had this tone I couldn't quite place. "We've decided to have a child-free Christmas this year. We don't want you bringing Emma to the party. It's going to be adults only." I felt my stomach drop. "Mom, why?" "Emma's been looking forward to this for months. She's made gifts for everyone, she's been practicing songs." "Carol, you know why. Sarah's going through a difficult time with the fertility issues, and it would be painful for her to see children at the party. But Emma's not just any child, she's your granddaughter." "I know that, but we need to be considerate of Sarah's feelings right now. Emma's still young, her feelings don't really count the same way." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Are you seriously telling me that Sarah's feelings matter more than mine and Emma's?" "Yes, Carol, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're overreacting and dramatizing this whole situation like you always do." My hands were shaking now. Fine, then we won't come at all. Actually, that would be even better, Mom said, cool as ice. Less drama for everyone. And then she hung up, just like that. I stood there in my kitchen, staring at my phone, trying to process what had just happened. When Mike got home from work that evening, I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, but I could see his jaw getting tighter and tighter as I talked. Are you kidding me? He finally said. They're uninviting their own granddaughter from Christmas? That's exactly what they did. And your mom actually said Emma's feelings don't matter? I nodded, feeling the anger and hurt all over again. Mike was quiet for a minute, then he looked at me with this determined expression. You know what? Screw them, we'll have our own Christmas here. Make it even better than theirs would have been. Really? Hell yes, Emma deserves an amazing Christmas, and if your parents can't see that, then that's their loss. We'll invite people who actually care about our daughter. That night, we sat Emma down and explained that we were going to have Christmas at home this year instead. At first, she looked disappointed, but when we started talking about all the things we could do, decorating the house however she wanted, having her friends over, making special food she liked, she got more and more excited. Can we really invite my cousins too? She asked. Absolutely, Mike said, anyone who wants to celebrate with us is welcome. Emma grinned, this is gonna be the best Christmas ever. Looking at her happy face, I started to think maybe she was right. The next morning, I woke up feeling different. Not angry anymore, just determined. Mike had already left for work, and Emma was getting ready for school, humming some Christmas song she'd learned in music class. Seeing her happy made me realize we were doing the right thing. After I dropped Emma off at school, I came home and sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and a cup of coffee. I opened Facebook and started typing. My hands were shaking a little, but not from nerves this time. I was excited. Hey everyone, change of plans for Christmas this year. We're hosting at our house instead of the usual family gathering. Mike, Emma, and I would love to have you all over for food, fun, and holiday cheer. Kids are especially welcome. In fact, we're planning activities just for them. If you'd like to join us, please comment below or give me a call so I can get a head count for food. Can't wait to celebrate with all of you. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing with notifications. The first comment was from my cousin Jenny, Mike's sister. Oh my god, yes, we were dreading having to find a babysitter for the kids. This sounds perfect. Then my Aunt Linda chimed in, we'd love to come. The kids have been asking about Emma anyway. Uncle Bob commented, count us in. We were actually going to skip your parents' thing this year because they said no kids, but this sounds way better. More comments kept coming in. Cousin Mark and his wife Sarah said they'd bring their twin boys. My neighbor Jessica, who I'd become friends with over the past year, asked if she could bring her daughter since they didn't have family plans. By lunchtime, I had 13 people confirmed. I called my friend Rachel who works at Tony's Italian restaurant downtown. We've been friends since high school, and I knew she'd help me out. Rachel, I need a huge favor. Can Tony's cater Christmas dinner for 13 people? I'll pay whatever it costs. Don't worry, we'll make this the best Christmas ever. I'll talk to Tony about doing something special for Emma too. I spent the rest of the afternoon planning. Made lists of decorations we'd need, games for the kids, even started thinking about party favors. Emma was going to love this. When Emma got home from school, she was bouncing with excitement. Mom, Lucy at school said her family might come to our Christmas party. Can she really come? If her parents say yes, absolutely. Emma hugged me tight. This is going to be so much cooler than Grandma's house. We can play games and everything. That evening, I was making dinner when my phone rang. Mom's name popped up on the screen, and my stomach dropped. Hello? What the hell do you think you're doing? Mom's voice was shaking with anger. I saw your Facebook post. You're deliberately trying to ruin our Christmas party. I took a deep breath. Mom, I'm not trying to ruin anything. I'm making Christmas for my daughter since she's not welcome at yours. That's not what this is about and you know it. Linda already called me saying they're coming to your house instead of ours. So did Bob and Mark. You're stealing our guests. I'm not stealing anyone, I invited people who wanted to celebrate with Emma. If they'd rather come here, that's their choice. Their choice? You manipulated them. You knew they'd feel bad about the child-free thing and come to your pity party instead. Mom, I didn't manipulate anyone. I just invited people who actually want to spend Christmas with their kids. Don't you dare act like you're the victim here. Sarah is going through hell right now, and all you care about is your precious little Emma. That's when I lost it, my precious little Emma? She's your granddaughter. She's been making gifts for you for months. She's been practicing songs to perform for you. And you're calling her precious like it's a bad thing? You're being dramatic again, Carol. Sarah's situation is more important than Emma's hurt feelings. No, Mom, it's not. Sarah's problems don't give her the right to exclude my daughter from family Christmas. And they don't give you the right to choose one daughter's happiness over another's. We don't have another granddaughter, Carol. We have Emma, and we have Sarah who's trying to become a mother. Sarah's needs come first right now. I was so angry I could barely speak. You know what? You're right, Sarah's needs do come first in your house. But not in mine. In my house, Emma comes first. And anyone who has a problem with that isn't welcome here. Fine, you want to play this game? You'll regret it, Carol. You're going to lose your whole family over this tantrum. I'm not throwing a tantrum, Mom, I'm protecting my daughter. And if that means losing family who don't care about her, then so be it. You're making a huge mistake. The only mistake I made was expecting you to care about Emma as much as you care about Sarah. Mom hung up without another word. I stood there in my kitchen, hands shaking, feeling like I'd just been hit by a truck. But underneath the hurt, I felt something else. Relief. I'd finally said what I'd been thinking for years. Mike found me there 20 minutes later, still holding the phone. What happened? I told him about the call, and he pulled me into a hug. I'm proud of you, he said. You stood up for Emma, that takes guts. That night, Emma came into our bedroom before bedtime. Mom, are Grandma and Grandpa mad at us? I looked at her worried little face and felt my heart break all over again. They're upset about Christmas, sweetheart. But that's not your fault, okay? Sometimes grown-ups have disagreements. But they still love me, right? I swallowed hard. Of course they do, baby, they love you very much. I hoped I wasn't lying to her. But looking at her trusting eyes, I knew I'd do whatever it took to protect her from the truth if I had to. Good, she said, climbing into bed between Mike and me. Because I still love them too, even if they can't come to our Christmas party. Out of the mouths of babes. The next few days were actually pretty peaceful. I threw myself into planning the perfect Christmas party for Emma. We went shopping for decorations, picked out games for the kids, and Emma even helped me make a playlist of Christmas songs. She was so excited she could barely contain herself. Mike was being amazing through all of this. He came home every day with some new idea for the party. Rachel called me midweek to go over the menu, and everything was coming together perfectly. That's when Sarah showed up. It was Thursday evening, exactly 1 week before Christmas. Emma was in the living room working on a puzzle when I heard the doorbell ring. I opened the door and there was Sarah, looking like she'd been crying angry tears. Her face was red and puffy, and she had this look in her eyes I'd never seen before. Sarah, what are you doing here? She pushed past me into the house without being invited. We need to talk. Emma looked up from her puzzle. Aunt Sarah. Did you come to see my Christmas decorations? Sarah looked at Emma like she was something disgusting. Her face actually twisted up in this horrible expression. Carol, get her out of here, take her to her room or something. I can't deal with her right now. Emma's face fell, she looked confused and hurt, and I wanted to punch my sister right in her mouth. But I didn't want to upset Emma more. Emma, honey, why don't you go up to your room? I'll come check on you in a few minutes. Emma gathered her puzzle pieces slowly, looking hurt. It broke my heart. As soon as Emma was upstairs, I turned on Sarah. What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you talk about Emma like that in front of her? Because I can't stand looking at her, okay? Every time I see her, I think about how I'll never have that. Never have a daughter who makes me Christmas cards or calls me mommy. That's not Emma's fault. I don't care, by throwing this stupid party, you're stealing all of mom and dad's guests. You're making everyone choose between us. Sarah, I invited people to celebrate Christmas with Emma because she wasn't welcome at mom and dad's house. Because they were trying to protect my feelings. And instead of being grateful, you decided to throw it back in our faces. Grateful? You want me to be grateful that my daughter was uninvited from Christmas? You don't get it, Carol. You have everything, you have Mike, you have Emma, you have this perfect little family. And I have nothing. That doesn't give you the right to take your pain out on my daughter. Cancel the party, Carol, let everyone come to mom and dad's like they're supposed to. I laughed. Are you insane? I'm not canceling anything. Then you're going to be sorry. We're family, Carol. You're right, Sarah, family should come first. My family, Mike and Emma, they come first. Sarah stared at me with pure hatred. You're going to regret this, she said, then turned and left. I found Emma upstairs, coloring quietly. Is Aunt Sarah okay? She asked. She's going through a hard time, baby, you didn't do anything wrong. That night, I told Mike what happened. She told me to get Emma out of the room because she couldn't deal with her, in front of Emma. Mike was quiet, then said, I'm glad you told her to leave, Emma doesn't deserve that. The rest of the week flew by as we prepared for our Christmas party. I spent hours getting the house ready, hanging lights everywhere, setting up a hot chocolate station, even creating a special kids area with games and activities. Christmas morning arrived, and Emma woke up bouncing with excitement. We opened our family gifts first, just the three of us in our pajamas, drinking coffee and hot chocolate by the tree. It was perfect. By noon, our guests started arriving. Jenny and her kids came first, followed by Aunt Linda and Uncle Bob with their children. Cousin Mark brought his twin boys, and even Mrs. Peterson from next door showed up with homemade cookies. Rachel arrived with the catered food, and it smelled incredible. She'd outdone herself. There were Emma's favorite meatballs, fancy mac and cheese, honey glazed ham, and about 10 different sides. She even brought a special cake shaped like a Christmas tree just for Emma. The house was full of laughter and kids running around. Emma was in her element, showing everyone her handmade gifts and performing her Christmas songs. The adults were having just as much fun. Uncle Bob told his terrible jokes, Aunt Linda helped organize games for the kids, and everyone kept commenting on how wonderful it was to have a real family Christmas. This is so much better than those stuffy adult-only parties, Jenny said to me while we watched the kids play. Emma looked so happy. She was right, Emma was glowing. She spent the whole day surrounded by people who loved her, playing with her cousins, opening presents, and just being a kid at Christmas. This is what the holiday was supposed to be about. Around dinner time, I gathered everyone for a toast. I just want to thank you all for being here. This is what Christmas should be, family and friends celebrating together, kids laughing and playing, and everyone feeling loved. Everyone raised their glasses, and Emma beamed at me from across the room. After everyone left that evening, I was cleaning up when I found my phone and saw all the pictures I'd taken throughout the day. Emma opening presents, all the kids playing together, the adults laughing around the dinner table. They were beautiful. I posted a few of the best ones on Facebook with the caption, "Best Christmas ever." So grateful for family and friends who know what the holidays are really about. Love these people and especially love seeing our daughter so happy surrounded by those who care about her. The likes and comments started pouring in immediately. Everyone who'd been there commented about what a wonderful time they'd had, and several people said it was the best Christmas party they'd ever attended. I should have known the peace wouldn't last long. The day after Christmas, I was still feeling good about how everything had gone when I checked Facebook and saw that Mom had posted something. My stomach dropped when I read it. Some people will stab their own family in the back for attention. My daughter chose to hurt her sister and parents by deliberately sabotaging our Christmas celebration. She invited our relatives to her house knowing they were supposed to come to ours, all to make herself look like the victim. Real families stick together, but some people only care about themselves. Disappointed in the selfishness and betrayal. The post already had several likes, including one from Sarah, who had shared it to her own page with the comment, "This is what real betrayal looks like." Mike found me sitting at the kitchen table, still staring at my phone. "What's wrong?" I showed him the post. He read it twice, then set the phone down and looked at me. "You know what, Carol? I'm done with this, you sending them $800 every month while they treat us like crap." He was right. For 4 years, I'd been helping my parents with their mortgage payments. $800 a month that we could have been saving for Emma's college fund or our own house improvements. Money we sent because I felt guilty that they were struggling financially after Dad's retirement. "You think I should stop the payments?" "I think you should have stopped them the minute they uninvited Emma from Christmas." That evening, my phone buzzed with a message from Sarah. It was a photo from Christmas at my parents' house. The picture showed Mom, Dad, Sarah, and David sitting around their dining room table. They all looked miserable. The table was set for many more people, but it was obviously just the 4 of them. The message said, "Hope you're happy. This is what our Christmas looked like because of you. I hate you for this and never want to see you again. Mom and Dad feel the same way." I opened my banking app and canceled the automatic monthly transfer to Mom's account. Then I typed out a message to her. "Since you've made it clear that Emma and I are no longer welcome in your family, I'm also ending our financial relationship. The monthly payments stop today. You said some people only care about themselves. You're right. I care about myself, my husband, and my daughter. We don't need people in our lives who treat us with such disrespect." I sent the message, turned off my phone, and went to help Mike make dinner. 2 hours later, when I finally checked my phone again, I had 12 missed calls and about 20 text messages from Mom, Dad, and Sarah. The messages ranged from angry to pleading to downright nasty. "Mom, how dare you cut off our money, we need that." "Dad, Carol, let's talk about this, we can work it out." "Sarah, you're such a selfish bastard. Mom and Dad are going to lose their house because of you." "Mom again, please call me, we need to discuss this." Then more angry ones, "You're being cruel and vindictive." I didn't respond to any of them. The calls and messages continued for 2 weeks. I ignored every single one. Mike supported my decision completely, and Emma seemed happier without the constant drama from my family. Then one afternoon in mid-January, there was a knock at our door. I looked through the peephole and saw Mom and Dad standing on my porch. I almost didn't answer, but I figured I might as well get this over with. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. "What do you want?" Mom's eyes were red from crying. "Carol, please, we need to talk, we can't afford the mortgage without your help." "That's not my problem anymore." Dad stepped forward. "Come on, Carol, we're family. We can put all this Christmas stuff behind us and go back to how things were." "No, we can't, you uninvited my daughter from Christmas and then attacked me on social media. There's no going back from that." "We were upset," Mom said, "we said things we didn't mean." "You meant every word, and so did I when I said I was done. So you're going to let us lose our house over a family disagreement?" I looked at my parents, people who'd raised me, who I'd loved and tried to please my whole life, and felt nothing but disappointment. "You're going to lose your house because you chose Sarah's feelings over your granddaughter's. That was your choice, not mine. Please, Carol, we're sorry." "No, you're not, you're just broke." They stood there for another minute, trying to think of something else to say, but I was done talking. "I think you should leave." They left without another word. That was 6 months ago. I haven't seen or spoken to any of them since. According to Jenny, who still talks to some of our extended family, Mom and Dad are constantly complaining about money and blaming me for their problems. Sarah and David are apparently saving up for surrogacy treatments. Do I feel bad about cutting them off? Sometimes. But then I look at Emma, who's happier and more confident than she's ever been without their toxic influence in her life. She doesn't ask about grandma and grandpa anymore, and she stopped making excuses for why they don't call or visit. Mike and I have been using that $800 a month for Emma's college fund. We've also started planning family vacations and doing more activities together. Our life is quieter now, but it's also more peaceful. Would I reconcile with them someday? I honestly don't know. A lot would have to change, starting with a genuine apology to Emma and a complete shift in how they treat our family. But I'm not holding my breath. For now, I'm focused on the family that matters, Mike and Emma. We're doing just fine without people who think a child's feelings don't count. Emma deserves better than that, and so do I. Christmas is coming up again this year, and we're already planning another party at our house. Emma's excited to see everyone again, and this time we're thinking about making it an annual tradition. Our tradition, with people who actually want